You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Specifically because getting some texts from some mobsters or otherwise on Saturday night. Hey, should I go ahead and get tickets for Arlington? And of course, my Saturday night vibes, Chris, led me to say, hell yeah, why would you not? But then I am also thinking about, like, are we 97, 98% clinched? Because I know you're not clinched, and that may be like being a little bit pregnant. So where are we exactly whenever it comes to still some shifting sands in the Big 12 after this most recent weekend and some Tech odds on Arlington?
Yeah, the whole thing's giving me a headache because I feel like, I don't know, we'll find out potentially later today what the game time is in Morgantown. I think that selfishly, I think everybody would hope for as early of a game as possible on that day. 11 a.m., 2:30, whatever you can get. You don't want a night game. One, I don't know if it'll be some massive crowd. I don't know. Obviously, the weather would be better in the middle of the day or earlier in the day than it would be later in the day. There's all that. But then you start looking at, okay, if you do make it to Arlington, you just want to be back in a reasonable time so you can, all that stuff. Okay, so here's the way that I think you need to look at it. And these are the questions that I have too. I'm with everybody. I've got my wife and my now Red Raiders son, and my parents. I'm trying to get them there. I'm trying to figure out, you're just like in this limbo, like, okay, do we take a chance? If the worst case scenario happens, can I sell these bad boys? Okay, so here's where you're at. BYU and Utah held serve over the weekend, and there are still four other teams. I think Cincinnati is still mathematically there, Houston and Arizona State. I'm trying to think of maybe just six total that have a possibility of getting there. And there's very few games remaining to be played. But until you get certain results, but I don't think Texas Tech, and Joey said as much to me after the game on Saturday. I want to be in Arlington. I want win number 11. I want win number 12. I want win number 13. Whatever this takes to get me and get this program to where we want to go, and championships and all this stuff. Any of us would have taken the scenario, win at West Virginia and you're in Arlington before the season. Anybody. I don't care who you are. I don't want to hear anybody saying, but it may require that and I think I'm okay with that. I don't, there's a 4-7 West Virginia team that is playing with a true freshman quarterback, their third stringer. They're playing without their best offensive player, Jaheim White, that got hurt earlier in the year, and so they've got a backup running back. But they're scrapping, they're fighting. They lost a close one. So again, just to say that part, you win and you're in. And I don't think anybody wants to back into this thing. But if you, for purposes of this conversation, if you're looking to clinch a spot ahead of time, no, it hasn't happened yet. Is it likely? Sure, if everything that we think we know were to continue. But that's the problem, is that it is November, weird stuff happens. The simplest way for you to clinch a spot this weekend on the bye week is if BYU wins and Colorado beats Arizona State. I think you do that, you could even go lose to West Virginia, and I think you're still in you're in the Big 12 title game as you play out the different tiebreaker scenarios and all those things. So if you're rooting for stuff, I think that rooting for BYU and then rooting for Colorado is the easiest way to get that done well ahead of time. I do think that this program and this head coach and these players will absolutely come in guns a-blazing into Morgantown. If it's 20 degrees, if it's 80 degrees, if it's raining, if it's snowing, whatever, if it's in morning time or nighttime, and they will be there to win that game. And they'll have some time to rest up. West Virginia will too, as they're off this week as well. But that's the simplest way I can dumb that down. It is also possible, this doesn't help you for your ticket buying questions. But it's also possible that because Arizona State plays Arizona on Friday night of Thanksgiving weekend on Black Friday, that you could, because you need Arizona State to take an L. That's going to be one of the easiest ways you can go, okay, at worst case, they can't catch us, or we're not going to lose a tiebreaker over them or all that. So you need them to take an L. So again, that could all happen before you take the field on in Morgantown and all that. But it really, if BYU were to be.
First, today's episode brought to you by Gametime. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly feel the call of the stadium. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. And with the money you save on tickets, you can then splurge on foods, drinks, gear, and more. Gametime makes it all possible. And best of all, Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get the first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. And if you're like me, you get tired of endless scrolling trying to find the best deal, and that's why Gametime's Zone Deals is the go-to move, since it automatically picks the best seats in your section for you at the best price. And as always, you can get a view from your seat right there in the app. So before you buy, you know exactly what you're going to see. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use our code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use our code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, Locked On College, for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last-minute tickets at the lowest price, guaranteed.
Cincinnati, it just kind of is really pointing to a rematch. And there's a way where Arizona State can get into this deal. Utah needs some help, but they're playing really good. Houston's kind of sneaking around, and so that's the simplest way I can describe it to you. And I will say this too, without knowing the CFP rankings yet, it is pretty clear to me. And I don't want to talk in absolutes, but it is very, very likely the only way the Big 12 gets multiple bids in the CFP is going to require a Texas Tech loss. And I'm not interested. Sorry. No. I'm sorry. I'm not interested. I'm not.
Remember that.
Yeah. I'm not interested. So it would require the possibility of you losing the last regular season game, getting to Arlington, and then winning it, and maybe like a Utah can move up or something, or you getting to the Big 12 title game against a BYU, and then BYU beating you, and then you still getting in or something. But I'm going to get greedy here. I think I'd like you to win in Morgantown and win in Arlington, and I think that's the way everybody will operate. But that's really – yeah, that's really what I see as far as all that goes. And we'll be on top of this all week because I'm as curious as anybody, because I'm personally I'm trying to figure out the ticket buying thing as well. So I will tell you something funny. The Cowboys were inundated by suite sales this last week. It's pretty clear that the Texas Tech folks bought up pretty much all levels of the suites for that game. I don't know how that works, if they can sell those deals or if they're committed to them or whatever. But your fans are buying tickets, and so if you want to go ahead and buy them and just say I just don't want to chance it, do it, and then understand that it is very likely that the percentages are very high that you will at worst be second place in this deal and be playing in that game. So, but you could get stuck with having to sell these. Whatever. But I would just say, because I'm telling you, if you end up playing BYU, you're going to have regretted not buying them earlier, because the BYU folks will be all about it. They will come in droves if there are opportunities to go. So you may want to take advantage, because these prices, which are pretty high, they're only going to get higher. So that's the best I can do.
Darn good. Bang up job. Thanks so much. You are the best. There's your answer. And I'm just going to go back. It sounds like I was actually on point when I said Saturday night. Hell yeah. Why not? Go ahead and get them. Let's roll, baby.
I don't disagree with that. Again,
it's Jack Daniels talking in that also, but yes, that continues to remain the same as we kick off the week.
It is not clinched, but it's because at worst you're going to be 10-2 in the regular season, and then it just comes into you just need to. Again, I just think the easiest thing is to have BYU win this weekend and have Colorado win, and then you can kind of have a different mindset, but then it allows your fans to start planning and all these things. So anyway, we'll see. But you may have to wait till the final weekend. You may have to win and get the thing in, but I think that Joey and crew would have it no other way. So we'll just kind of see what we get. But on this day, trying to answer that question, that's as good as I can offer up.
They're all still must win, so don't care a whole lot about all the other things. Right. It is Tech versus everybody. Big 12 pride in short supply very, very quickly as soon as those roads intersect. Chris, appreciate your time, man. Enjoyed the conversation. As always, plenty more still to come this week as we get ready for some Red Raider hoops to return. I do want to talk about the medical report, which I feel like you came out of the weekend pretty cleanly on, and still glad to have some open weekend time coming up, but we'll assess that situation and others. So looking forward to all of the above, man. Appreciate it. And we'll see you for the next one.
You got it. Hope is indeed alive, people. It's never been, you've never had more. You've got going on right now. Enjoy it. Everybody can take a mental break here for a few days, and but yeah, we'll be here throughout. So appreciate the time, everybody. To all the people that have seriously that have watched this, that come up and say that they're living here or living there. This platform is just, it's massive, and so we certainly appreciate it. We don't take it for granted, and we certainly appreciate everybody being a part of what we do here, man. And we'll keep it rolling. Fun times are these.
Get subscribed on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts so you never miss an episode. Thanks to the Everydayers for always riding along in the Matador Mob. Hit our show notes and find a link to a free 14-day trial. If you're interested in joining that crew, your direct line to Chris and myself with one-on-one text sent straight to your phone. For Chris, I'm Casey. Thanks as always for the time, and we hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.